Yeah. So now here in AWS, we are creating our own VPC. Say even in the initial like setup also, we need to create the networking. After that, we need to create the resources. Resources means servers, databases, all those also. After creating the networking itself, we need to design. Okay. So then by default, we are getting the default VPC from AWS, but our company not accepted or our client not accepted to go with the default networking. We need to go for custom VPC. We need to design the custom VPC. What is the custom VPC is? Our own isolated network we are creating. So what is the name for the VPC is Virtual Private Cloud, but actually technically the better name is it's a VNet itself. That means we are not creating a private cloud, but what we are creating is what we are creating by using VPC. We are creating our own virtual network we are creating. Okay. So what is the advantage of our own virtual network is what is the range of IPs we want, and what are the firewall rules we want, what are the NACLs we want. Okay. So do you want to make it internet or not? All these we can design. Even in the physical infrastructure also, first we are going to keep the networking itself. After networking, we'll keep the servers, all that. So that means when I'm constructing my data centers or my when I'm constructing my like office spaces, all those in the flooring or maybe in the ceiling, in the walls itself, we are going to design the networking. Okay, so we required cabling, all these switches, routers, firewalls, VPNs. Okay, so but what is the main challenge is those are very expensive kind of thing, and after 2 years, 3 years, we need to change those or enhance those. That's very expensive kind of thing. But if I go for the AWS, by default we are getting very powerful network, which not possible to imagine it also. So what is that meaning is like what is the networking we are getting from the AWS is it's a huge network we are getting. So then assume we are going to design a network here for the VPC. I have designed to go for 10 dot series 10.10.0.0/16 is the VPC cider we have chosen. Okay. Say, can you tell me some scenarios where we can't use 10.10.0.0? Can you tell me one or two use cases why we can't use 10.10. Series? Can you tell me one or two use cases why we can't use 10.10. Series? Okay, so what is maybe the requirement is I have another application also in the same project. They're already using 10.10.0.0. Okay, so then what is going to happen? So we are going to get the duplicate kind of IP address. Okay, that means in our company itself, in the same project, already some of them are using 10.10. Then you try to use 10.11, 10.12 like this, you can design. Okay, so then I don't want in class A, then I may go for maybe 172 series or 192 series also I can use. So then if I use 10.0.0.0/16, can you tell me how many IPs we are getting? By using 10.10.0.0, how many IPs we are getting here? So we are going to get 65,536 IPs we are getting. Now I'm going to divide these into subnets. I'm going to divide these into subnets. Okay, so then assume I have zone 1A. Say in zone 1A, I want one subnet, then 10.10.0.0/24 I have given for my subnet. Okay, and this is I want to make it as public subnet. Then 10.10.1.0/24 I'm going to use. This is also in the same zone and I want to make it as private subnet. In another zone, I'm going to use 10.10.2.0/24. So in this also I want to create the IP ranges. So now here in this each IP, we are getting around 256 IPs we are getting. Okay, what is the challenge is, if any of the clients said, no, we have like a chance in the next 2 to 3 years, we can provision more than the 250 VMs also we can provision, then don't use /24 CIDR block. Okay. So, but as of now, like client accepted, okay, anyhow, we don't use more than 250 missions in one zone, then you can go for this. Okay. So, but the best practice is for the future purpose, you can keep /20. Okay. So then subnet here, I'm going to keep in one way also one public subnet, then 10.10.3.0/24, and this subnet I want to make it as private. Okay, so now today we are going to create one VPC, and how many number of subnets we are creating? How many number of subnets we are creating? The total we are creating 4 subnets. The total we are creating 4 subnets. What is the advantage of that? So when one zone goes down, the solution is highly available from
Another zone.
another zone. Okay, and why we are going for public and private kind of subnets? Why we are going for public subnet and private subnet is the public subnet resources are accessible over the internet, whereas private subnet resources are not accessible over the internet. Okay, so that is also one of the advantage of this. So that is also one of the advantage. Okay, yeah, Aparna, you didn't share the credentials, only you shared the link.
Sir, what is the advantage? Once repeat again, please.
Yeah, even say suppose if we go for if you spread across the zones, okay, if you don't use multiple zones, one zone goes down, the solution is not highly available. The scope of the subnet is only within the zone. Okay, say
Oh,
now I have decided to keep public subnet servers, say publicly accessible servers in 2 zones and privately accessible servers in 2 zones. That is the reason total I'm creating
4 subnets.
4 subnets. Okay, what is the difference between public and private? What is the difference between public and private?
Public means it will available on the network.
It's available over the internet in this use case.
Okay.
Okay, publicly that means that resources, say we have an EC2 instance, database, load balancer, that's available over the internet. But if it is private,
Will not available.
it's only within the VPC we can access.
Yeah.
Okay, so normally in the office also some servers are not accessible. Suppose I'll tell one use case. We have a bank. There would be a lot of internet portals only within the bank. Those are accessible. Even if the bank employees also, if they come outside of that bank, if they want to access that, that's not possible to access. That means those are accessible only within their network itself. In our use case, those resources are accessible only within the those resources are accessible only within the VPC only. Those are accessible. That is the private subnet.
Internet and external.
Yeah, internet means external. We can access those. Okay, so we are going like we are dividing our VPC into multiple subnets for 2 purpose. One is like to spread across multiple zones. Even one zone goes down, the solution is highly available. Second reason is like in order to make it public and private kind of subnets. In order to make it public and private kind of subnets, we are going to keep it. Okay. Yeah, are you there, Aparna?
I will share.
Yeah, send me that credentials.
So, actually, whatever you are telling, we need to note it.
Yeah, I'll share the link. After that, you can write down.
Okay, you will send the
Yeah, I'll send this video.
redirection.
Yeah. So now here we created the subnets also. Assume by default, I given the name here is subnet public, right? It won't become a public subnet. Okay, by default, all custom subnets will become private only. All by default, it will become private only. If we want to make them public, we need to attach internet gateway. I'll tell one use case. You took an internet maybe from Hathway, Act, or Airtel. They'll give one router for you or not?
Yes, they are
Yeah,
providing
in the same way,
router.
here AWS is providing us internet gateway, and we need to configure internet gateway in our VPC, and our subnets also we need to attach. If we don't attach that internet gateway, by default all subnets are becoming
Private.
private itself. By default, those are the private, but we need to make them public. So for that, what resource you are using?
Submit
What
pub
resource we are using? Internet gateway. Say internet gateway, I'll call that as IG, but internet gateway provides high scalable internet to the subnets. That means in the subnet resources are going to get the internet. And the second thing is, it's not only giving the internet, it provides public access also for those resources. Okay, so can you tell me internet gateway is doing two things? What are those? Internet gateway is doing two things. Internet gateway is providing high scalable internet also to the subnets. Second one is public access also. That means from outside, say from my laptop, I have a VM in or instance in AWS data center in North Virginia. I'm in like Hyderabad. I want to connect to that VM. Definitely should be over internet itself. Okay. So for that, to that subnet resources, what we have attached? What we have attached? Internet gateway has been attached. By attaching an internet gateway itself, that subnet will become public. Okay. So now here, by seeing the names, so now here I'm giving subnet underscore public, subnet underscore private. By seeing the names, we can't tell whether it's a public or private. Okay. So can you tell me what is the use case? How we can tell it's a public or private? Can you tell me how we can tell? To the subnet, if the internet gateway has been attached, that subnet is, if I attach internet gateway to that subnet is public subnet or private subnet?
Public.
It's a public subnet. If I don't attach anything, that is going to become,
Private.
yeah, if I don't attach anything, it is going to become the private subnet. If I attach any of that subnet, then that is going to become, it's going to become private. By default, if you don't do it also, it's a private itself. But in order to make it public, we are creating an internet gateway. So now here try to understand what are the steps we have. So these all the steps today we will follow. How to make subnet public. So how to make the subnet public? In order to make the subnet public, first what we need to do is, in order to make the subnet public,
You
so
need to
we need to,
attach
yeah,
and
we
get
need to create a VPC Okay, so once we create the VPC, we need to create the subnets also. Then create an internet gateway and attach it to VPC. By attaching to the VPC, okay, it won't become public. We need to do one more step. Okay, so this step is little confusing, but after 5 to 10 resources we created, we will understood. So then we need to create a route table. So what is that route table we'll discuss? Okay, so in the route table, by default our VPC is 10.10.0.0/16. That is our local router, and that is going to connect with all the IPs. Okay, that means any device can connect with any device within the VPC by using a local implicit router. So normally here, who is giving this router for us? Who is giving that router? AWS itself is providing. Who is giving internet? All these, I said right, Hathway or ACT will give you a router, right? But all these are available physically. But in AWS, these resources all are
provided by AWS.
Yeah, those resources are not physical resources. Those resources are virtual resources.
Sure.
Those are the virtual resources. Those are not the physical resources. Okay, so then by default, what is the route table rule we are getting is 10.10.0.0/16. What is that? 10.10.0.0/16. What is that?
CADR.
That is our VPC CIDR block. Okay, if my VPC CIDR block is 192.168.10.0.0/16, then that will come here. Okay, so in this use case, 10.10. is our VPC CIDR block. So then here we need to add one more route also, 0.0.0.0/0. If this is using, okay, internet gateway need to attach. If I add this rule to my subnet, okay, that subnet is called as public or private?
Public.
It's a public. If I have only 10.10.0.0/16, and if I have local, what is that? By seeing that route table rules only, we should confirm whether it's a public subnet or private subnet. Okay, for public subnet, how many routes should be there? For public subnet, how many routes should be there? How many rules are there? 2 rules. Okay, for private subnet,
Two.
only 1 rule. Can you tell me what is that rule? That VPC CIDR block is going to use the local router. Okay, but in this use case, we have 2 rules. What are those 2 rules? One is for internal VPC communication. Second one is
Public access.
0.0.0.0/0, like that is any public IP. I'll tell one use case. Now, what is this routing table is? Routing table is nothing but routing rules. Routing table is nothing but routing rules, how the communication is going to happen. Okay, so how the communication is going to happen. Now, can you tell me if one target IP comes with 10.10. Okay, so then I have 4.56. Say using internet gateway it will connect, or implicit router it will use. If the IP is 10.10.4.56, whether it will use local router or internet gateway, it is going to use based on the above rules.
Local.
Local. Okay. So then if I using 23.56.65
Gateway.
internet gateway, that means if I don't have internet gateway route rule, what is going to happen is that's not exposed over the public. That's not exposed over the public. So these rules are called as route tables. These rules where we are configuring routing tables. Say if you understand routing table, everything is very easy to understand. Okay, so we should understand the routing table. So what is the concept of routing table?
Can you explain again, sir? I could not get it.
Yeah. So now here we have two rules in the routing table. So one rule is 10.10.0.0. That is anyhow that depends upon your VPC. And this rule you no need to create. By default, AWS itself is provides. Okay. Second rule, based on our requirement, we need to add. If I don't add any rule, that is private only. But what is this rule is doing is that 0.0.0.0/0 is the representation of any IPv4 address in the world. If the device comes with this rule, then that is going to use internet gateway. That means here in this scenario, 23, okay, if I don't have this rule, what is going to happen? Internet gateway from outside, it can't accessible. But if I add this rule,
Users
that subnet is accessible over the public internet. Okay. By creating an internet gateway and attaching to the VPC, we don't get the internet. What we need to do is, we need to attach that to the subnet route tables. Okay. So little confusion would be there. After 3 to 4 sessions, you can understood all this. Okay. So we'll discuss next 3 to 4 days also. I'll show this hands-on itself. With the different cider blocks will create different VPC resources. Then you will understood. Okay. So as of now here, what are the components is? We have the VPC, we have the subnets, we have route tables, internet gateway. Then by default, what we are getting once we create the subnet, once we create the VPC is, we are getting NACL also. NACL, or someone may ask you NACL. Some of them may call NACL, some of them may call as NACL, network access control list. Okay, network access control list are nothing but firewall rules. So what is the concept of the firewall is? Firewall is going to filter the traffic. Normally already at the instance level, we have security groups. Those also firewall rules itself. But NACL are the firewall rules at subnet level. Okay, so that means who are trying to enter those into the subnet, we can restrict it at the NACL level. Okay, whereas security group is firewall rules at instance level.
instance level.
Okay, so what normally a firewall will do is, it's just like a watchman. Okay, it filters the traffic whether it will decides based on the rules. So now you go to a shopping mall, there will be a watchman, right? Say they will have some rules. Say suppose you go with maybe bags or any food kind of thing, they should stop you. So here also we have some set of rules. Okay, so what are those rules are? At the subnet level, we have the NACL. Second one is at the instance level also. Okay, so maybe NACL, at the main entrance you'll have the security, and maybe you want to go to theater again at the second level, theater level also we have the security rules. Okay, so that's in AWS environment, NACL is at the subnet level. Okay, now I'll ask one intelligent question, try to tricky kind of thing. My security group, okay, so open traffic 22. NACL level, I deny that traffic 22. So can you tell me, if I have this kind of rule, can we access that instance or not? We have a Linux instance over the SSH. Can we connect to this or not?
We cannot I guess.
We can't connect. Why?
Because it's denied traffic
It's
in
denied at the network level itself, right? So suppose if we are stopped at main entrance, you can't go to movie theater in the 5th floor, right? Assume we have a mall, but you have stopped at where? At the entrance itself, we have stopped. Okay, then can you go to that movie in that mall?
No, sir.
No. Then here in security group also have denied. Then can we connect?
No, sir.
No. I have allowed here. At NACL I have allowed. Have denied that?
Okay.
Then can I connect to that instance?
No, sir.
No. No. Okay. So because this at the instance level it is restricting us. These are the instance level. This is restricting. I hope you got this right.
Yes.
So now security group is the firewall rules at instance level or like databases or load balancer. These all resources inside the subnet. But NACL is, what is NACL?
Subnet level.
Yeah, it's at the subnet level. Okay. When we create a VPC, okay, so try to understood this one. When we create a VPC, okay, say, please tell me whether subnets would be created or we need to create the subnets.
Subnets will be created.
No. When we create a VPC, subnets won't come.
Okay.
As per our requirements, our own CIDR ranges, our own requirements, naming. Okay, we need to create the subnets. Okay, we need to create subnets. I'm talking about custom VPC. That means we are creating our own VPC. We are creating. Okay, then can you tell me route table? Will it get by default or not? Yes, by default we are getting one default main route table we are getting by default. You no need to do anything. And what is the rule is that is your VPC CIDR block with the local it is going to come. If it is 10.series 10.10.0.0/16, that local router will come. If it is 172 series 172.0.0.0 local will come. What is that meaning of that route meaning? What is that? What is the route meaning? What is this rule is telling is, yeah, please tell me. What is this rule is telling? Any IP within that VPC can communicate with any IP within the VPC. That means we have almost 65,000 missions also can communicate using that router. Across multiple subnets also they can communicate. So now if it is 10.10.0.0/16 local is a very powerful networking. In 10.10. Almost we are getting 65,536 IPs. Those are communicating using the implicit local router itself. But from outside, these resources are not accessible. For that, what we need to do?
We need to add.
We need to add
Internet gateway.
internet gateway need to be added. Internet gateway need to be added. If I add that internet gateway, then those will become
Outside resources can be accessed.
outside resources also can be accessible. Outside resources also are going to be accessible. Okay, so that rule is what I need to attach for this
VPCs.
internet gateway. Internet gateway need to be attached. I'll try to log in.
We have to create this account, sir.
Yes, we need to create. Just like how you create Insta account. Okay, the Gmail account. Just you need to give your debit card details also.
Oh, okay. That's why I tried, but they asking the debit card. That's why I get confused.
Yeah.
To give it.
Which MFA you are using, Panna?
So just to confirm, I see that there's a previous class that happened. Is it possible for you to share that previous class?
Yeah. That coordinate with Akila.
Sure.
After MDF, what is that letter? Aparna?
Once again, tell me, sir.
After MDF, what is that letter?
MDF at the rate.
Okay. No letter, right? After MDF.
No, M is capital, MDFL at the
Okay.
rate.
Okay, sure. But Infinix Note is whose phone this is? Is it Chaitanya phone or
Security key, sir.
is it your phone itself?
You can try security key once.
Yeah, that is not option. I'm not getting. Security key we need to submit through this one. First option is not coming here. Are you connected through laptop or?
No, sir. I will connect phone. Once security key use.
That is either fingerprint or those only is coming.
No, sir. I will password. But
1 second. Now they made multi-factor authentication mandatory. They made after 30 days of account. So you do one thing. Create me one IAM user instead of root account. So in the IAM, create me one account and send me those details. Chetan, you also try to do that one.
Okay, sir.
So instead of your device, at least from my device, I'll use the authenticator app for MFA. Instead of go to IAM and create one IAM user.
After 30 days, what will happen?
No, MFA is mandatory. They're making. Means for 30 days, at least without having multi-factor authentication, we can log in. So our account may be created after 30, before 30 days before. That is the reason they're making multi-factor authentication.
Sir, try with security key once.
Yeah, the security key, not here, this one. This is asking for USB drive. I need to keep that in the USB port and previously 3 options used to come. In that we need to choose the authenticator app security key.
It's open my laptop, sir.
Yeah,
Today.
your mission is, you have that already, that mission is login, right? Normally it is not going to other alternate factors, it is not showing. You create an IAM user. Okay, so now anyone have that AWS access now?
I have it, sir.
Yeah, so good. I'll make you admin, share the screen.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, please share your screen.
Sure, sir. So please confirm if the screen is visible.
Yeah. What about others?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. So now here, we are in which region?
Asia Pacific, sir, Mumbai.
Yeah, Asian Pacific, Mumbai. Okay. So then go to VPC. Yeah, go to that VPC resource. Okay. So now here, try to understand. We didn't created anything, right? By default, how many VPCs we got?
One VPC.
One VPC. Like who created that VPC? AWS itself has created. And what is the AWS CIDR block they have used?
172.31.
By default, AWS is using 172.31. One of the reason why we need to go for custom VPC is I don't want 172 series. I don't want 172 series. Okay, but that is not possible with the default. That is also one of the reason we are going for okay, our own custom VPC. Come back to dashboard, VPC dashboard, there itself. Yeah, how many subnets we got by default?
3.
3. So why we got 3 here? In the default VPC, okay, so in the default VPC, what's happening is how many zones we have, that many subnets we are getting by default. Okay, so go to North Virginia. First one. So we didn't created anything, but by default, how many we got?
6.
6. What is that meaning?
For the region, there are 6
For the North Virginia, they have 6
subnets.
subnets or 6 zones they have. 6 available zones they have. That is the reason we got
6 subnets by default.
6 subnets we got. Okay. Then can you guess these subnets are public or private? By default, can you guess in the default VPC, whatever the subnets we are getting are public itself. But in the custom VPC, if you create any subnet, that is becoming
Private.
Private.
okay. They come again to dashboard. That VPC cider, how it divided also we'll discuss. Come to Mumbai. Yeah. So now how many route tables we got?
1, sir.
1. Who created that also?
By default.
AWS. Yeah. They come back. That rules also, go to that rule also. So can you guess me that rule? Say here, what is this rule is? 172.31.0.0/16 is using the local router and 0.0.0.0/0 is using
Internet gateway.
internet gateway. So can you tell me by seeing this rule, is it a public subnet or private subnet?
Public.
Public. I hope you can confidently tell this, right?
Yes, sir.
By seeing the route table itself, we can confirm whether it's a public subnet or private subnet.
Because it have internet gateway.
It is having an internet gateway for the cider range. What is that cider range? 0.0.0.0/0.
0.
What is that meaning is any IP address in the world except that 172.31. If any of the range comes with 172.31, it uses the local router. If it is comes from 0.0.0 any other IP, it
Internet.
uses that. Okay, so coming to again dashboard. And how many internet gateways have been created?
1, sir.
1. Definitely we want to make it public subnet, right? Definitely we require internet gateway. This is also created by AWS itself.
Yes.
Because in order to make all those default subnets public. Default subnets
Public.
public. Yeah, VPC come to dashboard. And what is that egress? Any resources created? No, right? Don't go, stay in dashboard itself. Okay, no. Okay, then DHCP options also we got. DHCP options also we'll discuss. We got one DHCP means within that VPC we are going to get the IP address. So what is the purpose of the DHCP server is?
Assign the IP address.
Assign the IP address. Okay, even in your Wi-Fi you connect, Wi-Fi router itself is assigning you an IP address.
Yes.
Okay, so that means already we are using all this in our local environment. Once you connect to the Wi-Fi, your Wi-Fi provides you the IP address. Or we'll have a DHCP server. We can make a Windows server as DHCP server that is going to give us IP address. Okay, but in AWS, we no need to maintain the DHCP. We need to set that options also. Come back to the dashboard. And by default, did we get any NAT gateways?
Yes. No, sir.
No, we didn't get any NAT gateways. Okay, so we'll create the NAT gateways also, and we didn't get any peering connections also. Okay, but we got one NACL. NACL stands for
Networks access.
yeah. So what is the NACL is? It's a firewall rule at the subnet. And this NACL, how many subnets have been attached?
3 subnets.
All the 3. In North Virginia, if you go, the default NACL would be attached to
6.
6 also. And that main route table also will be attached by default to all subnets.
6 subnets.
Okay, so now here we have the inbound rule and outbound rule. In the firewall, what is the meaning of inbound rule is? It filters what is the input traffic is coming.
Incoming.
What is the outbound traffic? From the server to outside, what is the traffic is going is called as?
Outbound traffic.
Outbound rule we are going to get it. So here we have the rules like 100, that star, allow, Denny, all these I will explain. But what is your understanding of NACL?
Network.
NACL is the firewall rules at the subnet level.
Yes.
NACL is the firewall rule at the
Subnet level.
subnet level. Okay, again come back to the dashboard. Then by default we got a lot of security groups, but those have been Prashant has created when we creating the instance. He created all these security groups. Only one will come by default.
Yes.
Okay, so then we have a what is the next one?
Gateways.
Customer gateway, virtual private gateways. All these are not creating, but going forward we'll discuss these resources also. But now go to VPCs, your VPCs. Now the default VPC we got, but our management not accepted to go with the default VPC. We got a request to create a new VPC. Okay, so now for the Mumbai region, we are going to create a new VPC. Yeah, little up, scroll up. Yeah, create a VPC. Now only VPC we create. You just give a name for this. So they have given a hyphen or underscore. These are the naming patterns also our company standards we need to follow. Okay, so give one name ITCM. Yeah, my ITCM we are assuming as that is our project name, or maybe Nokia Online, Avenade. It's a different whatever the project name hyphen VPC hyphen Mumbai. I'm giving VPC hyphen Mumbai. Then what is the range of CIDR blocks we have chosen? IPv4 itself we are choosing, not IPv6. Give the CIDR range is IPv4 CIDR at 10.10.0.0 /16 we are going to choose, not 24/16 we have chosen. Okay, so scroll down. That remaining all default options, create the VPC. What is that? IPv6 as of now we are not creating. We are using IPv4 itself, but AWS VPC supports both IPv4 it supports, IPv6 also it supports.
Yes.
Okay, so now go to, we just created what resource we have created?
A VPC.
VPC. Go back to again dashboard. Yeah. How many VPCs now?
2 VPCs.
2 VPCs. Any subnets got created?
3.
3. Those are default one itself.
Okay.
So that means subnets not created. We need to create the subnets as per our.
Yes.
In the default VPC, what's happening? Can you tell me?
It's created.
For every zone, we are getting one subnet.
Yes.
But in our use case, we are creating our own subnets we are creating.
Yes.
Again, come back to dashboard. Yeah, what are the additional resources got created? Internet gateway created a new one.
No. Yes.
That is default one itself. If you want, you need to create an internet gateway. By default, we are not getting an internet gateway also.
Okay.
Okay, so come back. Any NACL is created? Yes.
No.
No, default NACL will come.
Yeah.
One is created, I guess.
Yes, one is created. Default NACL will create.
Yes.
One main route table also would be created.
Okay.
Go and check the route table also.
How do I check the route table, sir?
Yeah, come back. Route tables also in the dashboard you can see. On the left side you have the route tables, right?
Yes.
Below subnet.
Yes.
From dashboard also you can see.
Okay.
But as of now, no subnets are there. Can you tell me that route table route?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope you got it right. Previously we got 172 series because that is CIDR block.
Yes.
What this rule is telling?
Local. No.
What this rule is telling, if any of the target comes with a 10 dot series, use the local router. Okay, and we don't have any other IPs, those all blocked because they don't found any router. These rules are called as route table.
Route table.
These rules are because outside IPs, now they don't get any route to access this instance. Okay, so very good. Now come to subnets. Now we are going to create 3 subnets or 4 subnets, right? How many zones we are going to use? We
Two.
have decided to use 2 zones only. It's not mandatory as they have 6 zones. We need to use all 6 zones. That
Yes.
is our requirement. Okay. So now create a subnet. Yeah, choose the VPC. Don't use default VPC there.
Okay.
Yeah, give a good name for the subnet. What is this subnet is? Give a subnet. Subnet ITCM underscore ITCM hyphen subnet. What is the zone we want to choose is 1A.
1A.
1A hyphen.
When is common, sir? We need
That
to.
is up to you.
Okay.
But we need to follow some good standards. So make it public or private you want to make it. Hyphen public UT. Okay. Then here come back next step is, what is the next step?
Availability inside.
Yeah, available zone. Yeah, choose that. Say if I don't use any of the zone, AWS itself is selecting automatically, then there is no guarantee it goes to 1A itself.
Okay.
But use case, you better to choose 1A.
Okay.
If I don't choose, what's happening here?
We AWS will select and it's not.
AWS itself will choose. There is no guarantee 1A will come. Okay. Then don't choose 10.10 dot. 10.10 dot. Yeah. This is your VPC cider block. Scroll down. For subnet, give 10.0 dot 0.0/24. So these after creating 5 to 10 different VPCs will understood. Okay. Yeah. Scroll down. Yeah, later we can create a second subnet also. First create this submit. We can add multiple also. So which zone we have taken here?
1A.
1A. We given public or private?
Public.
Public. But that name is public itself. Still that VPC, say go to that subnet, route tables.
We need to give gateway, internet gateway.
Yeah, route table you go. Yeah, check the rule. Say it's having 1 rule or 2 rules.
Only one rule.
1 rule. With this rule, can you confirm whether it's a public subnet or private subnet?
It's not public yet.
It's not public yet. Only name we have given as public. But still we need to make it as public. Later we'll add. They come to again subnet.
Sir?
Come to subnets.
Subnets.
They create one more subnet in the 1A itself, but give the name as private.
Okay.
So ITCM hyphen subnet hyphen 1A.
Sorry, 1A.
1A is the zone name.
Yes.
Yeah. Private or public?
We are giving public now, sorry.
Already given public, right?
But we are going to add the internet gateway, I guess.
No. First one you give public or private?
I gave public, sir.
And now give private. This is the name only, right? One public, one private, you give the name.
Okay.
But as of now, both are technically
private only. It's
private only. Okay. Choose 1A.
1A.
Yeah, 10.10 dot.
0 dot.
No. 1.0. Already for previous we have given 0.0.
Okay.
So 10.10 dot 0.0/24. Now this won't create. So click submit. We'll get a conflict of cider block. Because say assume we have one row of the theater. Already we sold the tickets. Again, if I sell to the same people, what will happen? Both can't sit on the same seat, right?
Yes.
That is the reason already that has been given to someone.
Okay.
Now you give 1.0. 10.10 dot 1.0 series this is. That means 10.10.1.0, 1.1, 1.2. Like this we are getting. Okay, create the subnet also.
Is this correct, sir? 10.10.
10.10.1.0/24. Now we don't get any conflict.
We still getting conflict, I guess.
10.10.1.0/24. I create this. So go back to previous subnet.
Can I close it or should I?
Yeah, I close. No, subnet. Subnet, what is the rule you have given? 10.0.
10.0.20.
/24, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, then sorry, you need to give 10.0 itself. 10 dot, if it is 10.0 is your fix. No, 10.0.1.0 you can keep.
Can you repeat, please?
10.0.1.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it will create.
Can you explain why there was?
Yeah, actually, the suffix of /16 is telling first 16 bits are fixed. That means 10.0 is fixed.
Okay.
Okay, that you can't modify.
Yes.
You gave 10.10, right? It won't take that.
Okay. I understand.
So like this, you need to how many subnets? Again, in 1B also you create 2 more subnets.
Okay.
Okay, later you do that. Okay, then one subnet we want to make it as public, right? Then come to internet gateway. Come to internet gateway. Like, so already we have an internet gateway. This is already attached to default VPC, right?
Yes.
You create one more internet gateway. ITCM, Mumbai, IG, you can give. Yeah, create this. By creating this, nothing will happen. This first we need to attach to our VPC. Actions attached to
VPC.
VPC. Which VPC?
Or
Why we didn't get default VPCs? Default VPC already have
link to different.
internet gateway.
Yes.
Now again, second internet gateway is not required.
Okay.
Yeah, add that. Attach.
Attach.
So now we have one step behind. What is that?
We have attached it.
We need to create a route table. Go to route table. Yeah, already we have one default route table, but I don't want to use that. I want to create my own route table. That orange. Yeah, now ITCM public route. Yeah, so now choose the VPC, our VPC, create that route table. We need to add a rule also. Edit routes. Yeah, add rule. So what is the rule we need to add is 0.0.0
by 0.
Yeah, /0. That in the drop down you need to attach internet gateway. Internet gateway. Yeah, that IGF you choose. That in the drop down you will get. Yeah. So that is the IGF we have created.
Okay.
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 And then we need to attach edit the subnet association.
Edit.
Subnet association.
Okay.
So which subnet you need to choose here? Public you need to choose. Public you select. If you choose private, that also will become no.
Should I click on this?
Subnet.
Okay.
You go to subnets, choose that subnet. Route table, you can come to route table.
Okay.
Edit that route table association. In the drop down. Yeah, you choose that route table. This is having 2 rules, right?
Yes.
Save that one.
Okay.
Otherwise, From even route table to subnet association also you can do.
Okay.
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 Any doubts till now?
Is there a way we can figure out if things what we did is happens, or as in can we ping or do something like that?
Yeah, those all will test it.
Okay.
So as of now, just we created the resources. Try to focus more on the CIDR block itself as of now. Okay. I shared one CIDR block in the chat.
Checking.
Yeah, everyone go through that one. So what is the CIDR block we have given? 10 dot.
In the groups.
In the chat, in the Zoom chat I have shared.
Okay.
10.20.0.0
Yeah. That is for the VPC you need to give. And I gave 4 subnets, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, those all the 4 subnets you create. One make it as public, one make it as private. Okay. So create the internet gateway and route table association. If possible, create an ACL and security groups also. Till this, by tomorrow, everyone need to do the lab. Okay. So till this, everyone need to do the lab.
So can you repeat, sir?
Yeah, I shared that CIDR blocks, right? 10 dot, 20 dot. According to that, you create the VPCs. So what are the resources you need to create is VPC, subnets, then internet gateway,
Okay.
route table, then route table need to be attached to
To the VPC.
no route first. Before itself we need to attach route table, need to be attached to subnet, internet gateway need to be attached to VPC.
Okay.
Okay, so these all the resources you should provision by tomorrow's session. Okay, so then like we'll discuss whether that's public accessible, private accessible, and how to create the instances in these subnets. All these I will explain in the tomorrow session. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Any doubts?